another shonen that has had a resurgence of recently. Now, admittedly, I'm not up to date with the manga, so I couldn't say if some of this happens or not. But my pitch is for Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, do go on, because I am up to date with the manga.
So my story takes place after the events of the anime, because I'm up to date with the anime. So the Tournament of Power has taken place, all fun and giggles, hooray. So my pitch is Goku and Vegeta decide to go training and travel these other worlds with Wits and Beerus. So they go training, takes them off the board basically. I want them out of here. There's not going to be a Goku or Vegeta saving the day. Wipe your tears, they're gone.
Okay. So let's assume that I can get. Let's assume that the moment that they leave, I'm not going. Nah, this ain't for me, man. Let's assume that I am gripped by the idea of someone else having to step up, because I am.
We're gonna rip this band-aid off. So they're gone. I'm gonna throw everything whilst they're gone. So Future Trunks appears.
Okay.
Classic. We know he went to his own sort of timeline or world or wherever it was, but basically he's back. He's beaten, he's bruised, he's out of breath. Classic sort of messenger, Future Trunks. But he tells the Z Fighters that his world is gone. And the reason it's gone is because the Saiyans are back. The Saiyans are back.
Alright.
So it goes crazy. So the Saiyans are back. It's going to happen to their version of world because I want Cooler to be the big bad. And you're probably thinking, why would Cooler want the Saiyans? And my idea is that there's been a vacuum, like since Frieza died, since his force was gone, since the original Saiyan saga, him and his family have been not as lucrative as they once were. So what made them lucrative, what made them conquerors? The Saiyans. So he, I don't know, gets the Dragon Ball's wishes back, Saiyans, poof, they're back. First planet to get taken over, to sell, to, you know, everything that they used to do, Earth.
Okay.
So it's down to Gohan and Future Trunks to protect Earth. They're the last sort of line. It also means the rest of the Z Fighters have to up their game slightly. Not to say that they haven't been, but you know, it kind of pushes them back in the focus because let's use them. At the same time, we get a load of interactions. So I want interactions from Trunks facing off against Nappa and Raditz. I want interactions with Gohan and Bardock. And then I want Bardock to train Gohan specifically. And he teaches him Super Saiyan 4, which sounds crazy, but it's the same premise as God saying prayer. You know, the four of them line up, they pray, and the Saiyan becomes Super Saiyan 4. So that's kind of the long and short of it. Yeah.
Okay,
Thoughts?
let me stop you right there while you stop. I love this. So the reason that I love this so much is because basically you've reintroduced the Saiyans as like an antagonistic force to some degree. And the heroes that you're pitting up against them are half human.
Yes.
Which is why this interests me so much, because and I could see this playing out in my head, like every Saiyan that Trunks and Gohan encounter are gonna think less of them for not being pure blood Saiyan.
Yeah.
And I imagine that they're going to get like smacked down a couple of times before they're by Saiyans, before they're in a position where they can like dominate them, you know?
Yeah, and I specifically pointed out the Trunks facing Raditz and Nappa, because Nappa and Raditz are supposed to be elite Saiyans like Vegeta. And again, like you say, like that whole interaction of this is Vegeta's son, and kind of pushes them into an awkward situation. I could have Raditz again face off against Gohan, but we've kind of already seen that in one way, and maybe
we saw him get kicked around.
And we could cross those paths again, but specifically that was Vegeta's team. They were a Cell at one point, weren't they? So yeah.
The other reason that I love this, and it ties back into Gohan and Trunks as well, it's because we're following that amazing like kind of trope of the mantle being kind of unintentionally being passed on to the next generation.
Yeah.
You've got like the son of Goku and the son of Vegeta, like standing up to do what their fathers would be doing if they were here, but they're not here. So someone has to stand up. And you'd obviously have like, I imagine you'd have I guess the young Trunks would be there as well as Goten.
Yeah, exactly.
Which should be interesting interactions as well, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. And because they cross paths with their own sort of people in a weird way, like people they've only heard about in stories and whatnot. The other sort of thing I thought of, but I'm not quite sure how I'd get there, is King Vegeta crossing paths with Trunks. So again, the grandfather meeting the grandson sort of dynamic. I imagine it would be completely different to Gohan and Bardock's sort of interaction, because again, he's not an elite warrior. He's everything else but what his true desires were. So yeah. Also, Broly's off the table. He's still on his planet. Maybe we'd have a scene where the Saiyans kind of jump him on his like fun planet.
Yeah, on his own planet. I was actually going to say, like, is there any chance that we can get Broly into this for a scene? But I think it would even just be cool, as even if it was like a literal like couple of seconds where like Broly is like leaves like the cave where their little capsule house is. This is him, and we're going to go with the movie canon that's been added in.
Yeah,
he comes out with that, and he kind of like he senses something, and he looks up to the sky, and what he's sensing is like Saiyans.
Yeah,
but he doesn't actually encounter them. He's far enough removed that it's not something that he could know for sure. But it's kind of like he gets this familiar, like nostalgic feeling in his blood.
Yeah, exactly. It will cut to him because he is a Saiyan. Like, I'm not going to kind of just leave him out altogether. So yeah, that was kind of like my thought process. There was one last thing as well. There's the cooler. The Saiyans would be stronger because they've been brought back to life. So again,
like the wish had been to bring them back, but bring them back like at like 10 times the strength that they were, or something along those lines.
Yeah, so not necessarily like they're all Super Saiyans, because that just washes that out already, but they're strong enough to be a challenge, especially for the Earthlings, because again, I want the Z Fighters back in the fold. I want to see Piccolo take on, some of the elite Saiyans and stuff, so yeah.
No, I am all about this. I would eagerly await every single episode of an arc like this. I think it's got all the right ingredients. I can't remember. There was what was the arc? It was actually the start. It was like the first part of the Freezer arc, which kind of in a way did this not exactly the same, but like it focused on Gohan.
Yeah,
because Gohan and Krillin obviously go off with Bulma, don't they, to Namek?
Yeah.
And stuff, and Gohan obviously a little bit older, still like a child, but he obviously went on that journey, and he was forced into fights that usually his father would be like dealing with.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's that intensity as well, because you kind of like, I don't want to see Gohan like getting beaten up, and you know, his fear is your fear as well, because he's like, I'm not as strong as my dad, and I got to do this to bring Piccolo back and everything else. So
I
yeah.
would really love it if like during this particular arc it could be a situation where it could be re-explored Gohan's innate power, because he's obviously this legendary warrior,
Yeah.
like as foretold.
Yeah.
Like he's got this like incredible power. He just is never in a position to utilize it. I'd love to see him like, maybe I'm not saying like a new form of Super Saiyan. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not talking like he has like his own version of like Ultra Instincts, but you know, that sort of thing. There was one final thing. I think it was actually just a more passing comment, and I think is, as we all know, nothing drives a Saiyan to get stronger than fighting another Saiyan.
Yeah.
So very,
Yeah.
very good. I am titillated. This is good, top tier elevator pitch. I've hit the brake, the emergency stop on this lift. Not going anywhere. Listen to the whole story. Now we're waiting for the rescue guys to come and get us out.
No, I'm glad you like it. It was just everything I wanted to see, and you know, again, I know the Super Saiyan 4 thing is a kind of a gimmicky thing because it's a new form, but it kind of ties in to GT, and it also again gives something that Gohan can put his hat on.
Yeah,
You know,
something that his dad hasn't got or
yeah,
achieved in this canon anyway.
yeah, being the first to reach Super Saiyan 2 was great until his dad did Super Saiyan 3, but it'd be nice to kind of replicate that in some weird way. Anyways.
Absolutely.